I wanted to talk to you today really quick about something I found that I feel is very significant. And it's in Revelation 3, verse 12. I was studying it in Greek and I came across something that, of course, is different from our Bible. Our Bibles usually reads, which or that comes down out of heaven from my God after the New Jerusalem. In Greek here, this is effeminate. New Jerusalem is effeminate. They have effeminate language in Greek. But after the writer, and it's bad grammar, it's not proper, switches it over to the nominative. And what actually happens here is properly said. The New Jerusalem, the one that is, present tense, it's a present tense participle, out of heaven from my God. Now, what does that mean? Well, I'll tell you what I think it means. If you remember in Luke chapter 4, Jesus comes into the synagogue and he sits down and he takes Isaiah and he reads it. And then he says, this has been fulfilled in your presence by him just reading it. When John came out of his little trance and he came to and he started writing, I don't know where he got the writing material. I don't know how he was able to compose Revelation or any of the letters. This letter in particular is the Church of Philadelphia. But he was able to write it and get it out. I also believe that a theory is that it's written this way, not bad grammar, but apocalyptic, to conceal and mask the true intention of this, so it can make it past the guards without notice. It's a very important letter, but you can't kind of let people catch on to what it really means. Another example is when they say, one who has wisdom, 666, they're talking about Nero. I think that's another type of example of what's happening here. But the way I'm seeing this chapter, or this verse in this chapter, is you hear this: he who overcomes, I will make him a pillar. He will not go out from it anymore. I will. Future tense. Okay, here. But here, as he's writing it, John, he's writing it effeminate, New Jerusalem, back to the nominative, the one that is coming out of heaven from my God. Now, when he writes this down and he gets it out there and it arrives at the Church of Philadelphia, I don't know who reads it, but someone reads it, and they get up there and they read this: the New Jerusalem, the one descending out of heaven from my God and my new name, just fulfilled a prophecy in this letter to them. And at that moment, he read it, it became realized. It became realized at that moment that the kingdom, the New Jerusalem, is coming down out of heaven from my God. That is very, very significant. Most of you know my theory that New Jerusalem and Jerusalem are not the same place. The New Jerusalem is earthly. The other Jerusalem, it's up in the air. It's somewhere else. It's for dead people. After they died on earth, they go there, if they're in the book of life. But back to this is the New Jerusalem. Now, if you look at the language, which comes down out of heaven is what all of our Bibles say, or that which comes out of heaven, however you want to put it. But that's just kind of like this is how it works description. That's not what it's saying. It's actually presenting the one descending out of heaven. And at the moment that it's read, it becomes realized. It's a fulfilled prophecy. If you look, even in the Old Testament, if you look at any description of anything that says coming down out of heaven, What is always going on in these descriptions? It's something from God coming down to us on earth. And when I say us, I mean us people, believers. New Jerusalem coming down out of heaven for us. If you follow me and you follow what I've been saying, this is very, very significant. This is actually the way it is written. If you notice at the end of Revelation, it says, don't change anything. Don't change anything. Well, they changed it, didn't they? They changed the way it's said. And I'm sure someone will give God, because they're probably dead, oh, well, we're just translating it in English. But it doesn't matter. That's not relevant. And I've looked at that too. I've even had a Bart Ehrman. I wrote him, and he confirmed that this is actually correct. It's bad grammar, but that's the way it's written, and that's what it's saying to the T. Okay, and we know he of his reputation and his ability to be able to, I don't know, properly translate manuscripts. So very, very significant, very exciting. We actually have an exegetical proof that someone pronounced to the Philadelphian church that the kingdom, the New Jerusalem, is actively at that moment, presently, coming down out of heaven from God to us. Right here. Revelation 3:12. The one descending, okay, katabino, downstepping out of heaven from my God in my new name. That's all, that's the rest of verse 12. Very, very exciting. Very, the implication that this is saying is that it happened at that moment. It was happening. Date wise, of course, it doesn't say anything, but I mean, give or take, you could say probably around 65. Maybe after. I mean, I don't know how long it would take to get this out. Could take years. I don't really know. But this is pre temple destruction. How close? I don't know. Really don't. Could have been a day before 80, 70, could have been 65, could have been 63, 67. I have no idea. The fact that it's after any kind of destruction of the temple of 96, Domitian, which Bart Ehrman contends, this entire book, it wouldn't make any sense. He doesn't see it that way, so it makes sense to him. But in reality, it does. This letter wouldn't make any sense if it was written in 90. I mean, what happened in 90? Was someone's religion destroyed and taken away forever? No, I believe it's all intertwined with each other. So Revelation 3:12, uh, uh, very significant prophecy that was fulfilled. Prophecy that was fulfilled at the moment that was spoke to that church.